My company just left it. Oh my God, it's so treacherous out. Yesterday they were supposed to leave, but they couldn't because this storm that came in. And it is, oh my God, it is like Arctic temperatures. It is so cold. And it's so windy, and there's some sort of illumination out there. No sun, but whatever. But the cool thing there was a lot of people who kept saying how I was so crazy because they just didn't understand what I was talking about. When all this started, I sounded like a crazy person to them. But now as things keep developing, it's opening people up to more information, I think. And everybody's having their own awakening, like I said, to different things at different times. And, but how much more willing people are to listen to you. Not Ray Hill. I doubt he's listening to anything else I say, but Ray, if you haven't seen this stuff about Michael, you gotta Google it. You don't start attacking somebody like I don't know what I'm talking about. Are you freaking kidding me? Go and Google it. You will see Barack himself mess up and call the person Michael several times. And look at the pictures of Michael when they were dating in college. It's Michelle's face. Michael, if you don't know this stuff, then, it's up to you to go out and look stuff up. Not just go and look for people to attack and say they're wrong. Obviously, we've seen the evidence, or we wouldn't be talking about it. No, we're not just all talking about it because someone said, maybe, possibly. No. We all looked up stuff. That's what some of us spent 2020 doing. While other people were panicking, some of us were like, okay, something's up, and looking things up and everything that was coming. Like, there's so much stuff I found out during that. So anyways, people are more receptive now, it seems a little bit. And so, listening to me about, it's not the flu you need to worry about. It's the toxins, it's the chemicals, they're putting them in every single thing right now. And he even went and looked up the Georgia Guidestone thing. He was looking up about what it said, who put it there, why is it there and stuff. So he was actually listening to some of the stuff I was saying and looking it up. And they're seeing enough through the corporation and the government to understand that, it's the same entity. It's not separate anymore. And I got a lot of chances to say, don't panic. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go on. I mean, my one daughter didn't even know stuff was going on in the Ukraine, and she started seeing about it because she was on Reddit reading weird stories, and there were so many people on Reddit from the Ukraine freaking out. So, and I said, I have the one person I talked to from Poland, and they said, yeah, it's fucking messed up. It's an invasion. Like, there's all these American soldiers there. And, hopefully they're doing well, because, you haven't said anything in a couple days, but I'm just thinking, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we don't even know when someone's internet goes down because they're doing this stuff. It's so localized. Like, we're all different experiments. We're all going to go through different things. And some people are going to be more central to some locations, and it's going to seem like they're going to go through some really, really hard things, really scary stuff. People are going to be going through all different kinds of things to wake up, because it's all about the awakening. And that's why I keep trying to get across to people. This isn't the end. This is the awakening. This is so consciousness can pull free from this system if it's ready, if it has the abilities, it has the drive, it has it in its soul, that's what it wants to do, is recognize this system for what it is. And so many people, they both had stories about super corrupt people that they know, and how everybody's being able to see the stuff they're doing, the illegal stuff. And I said, it's all part of this whole thing. People don't even realize that they're being seen by other people. They're just trapped in what you would call the matrix or whatever, the 3-dimensional, because it's a mind trap. Your mind is so focused on, most cases making other people happy so you can feel good about yourself. But everyone's so focused on that they don't have any concept. Like my daughter, I kept telling her, you're so three-dimensional thinking. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a purpose to it. But she can't imagine that anything outside of that realm is real. And I keep saying, that's why it's not real to you, is because you don't believe it. Once you see it, once you open up to it, you know it's real. But you keep yourself closed off from it because you can't imagine it's real. But it's real. It's more real than what is going on in this school reality. Because this is just an education program for souls to come through to learn about themselves. And we come in with groups and we learn in we play all the different parts. So it's so much different than how people think. And when I talk to people, and they're just panicking over death and, this is happening, that's happening, people are dying, and you just keep going, but they're not. That is a paradigm. That's a limitation. That is something that they tell you, but it's not true. That's their biggest lie. You cannot die. You do not die. You leave one reality to the next. If you leave a dream, did you die? Or did you just leave that dream and go into another one? Because people who have kind of more elaborate, or, they have that ability to be in a dream. Some people, they don't have that. Some people wake up and they go, I don't dream. I never had any dreams. Yeah, you do. Your consciousness is alive, even if you're asleep. Your consciousness is doing stuff. You just don't have the recall. You don't remember. Some people can remember every dream. Some people can remember everything what happens in a dream. And, there was one point where I was like looking up, like, what does this mean in a dream? What does that mean in a dream? But really, all you got to do is ask your guidance when you wake up and you are still laying there and you have some dream and it's so confusing. You just ask them, like, what was that? What are you showing me? What am I supposed to be getting from that? What do you want me to understand? Like, communicate with them like that, because you're communicating with yourself, and then you also have guidance around, but they will, do more clarifying if you ask for it. But, if you're not asking, they either think you're not noticing or you don't understand or something. You have to understand and notice to start communicating. Hold on, let me let her in. Hold on. It's so cold. If it wasn't so cold. Come on. Are you going to hurry and come, Stella? I'm doing something. Will you hurry? Go. I won't be surprised if our power goes out for sure, because it is so windy. Oh my God. Last night it was so scary. It started becoming super windy in these super high trees, especially when, like they uproot. Because when I first moved in, my yard was just a big old mess. And there was 2 big giant down trees. I still have the stumps because there's nothing they can do. Like it's a big expense to have them come remove stumps. So I just kind of used them as art. And, it was a thing in the yard. But they're freaking huge. And so when the wind was going and they start swaying and then it starts getting so dark you can't see it, but you can hear it. It's really creepy. I don't like it when it's super windy. I don't know. It's probably PTSD from being raised in the, tornado belt or whatever. But anyways, so the whole thing with, like she couldn't understand any of the stuff I was saying because she is so much in the mindset of, she doesn't understand that you have a soul and it's separate from you, but you are what makes you, you, but you go on, even if this avatar doesn't, the avatar will stop, but that doesn't mean you stop, you keep going. But people don't understand, like, because it is so much like if you're conscious, if you're in a dream and the dream ends, you keep going. You go just into a different reality, a different state of being. This is a state of being that takes a lot of energy. That's why you don't have like aliens and, aliens and stuff just coming down here all the time, like, hey, let's come visit. Because it's not. Life isn't about that. It's about learning. It's about expanding. It is about becoming more of yourself. And, we have to rise up to the occasion to where they are. They can't come down and teach us and help us. Throughout all of this stuff, that is one thing you can see. You can't teach somebody something that doesn't, they have to be open to it. They have to want it. And that is what is happening. That's the awakening, because people want it. That's why they will come to help us, because people will want it. They'll be open to it. But they're not going to come down here and try and force it, especially because we're kind of draconian, a little bit warring. We're ready for war. We're ready to fight. We got weapons. Cross me and I'll shoot you. That is kind of like where we were in our development stage, but we were being run by people who were kind of pushing us in that direction, fight with each other, fight, it's a dog eat dog world, and the hierarchy, I'm better than you, all that kind of thing that's their kind of, their direction, their programming, their indoctrination that was leading our society down those kind of pathways, So, and that's why it's so significant when you get in touch with your spirit, the spirit side of you, because it is like, soul meet body, here you go, because it is separate, but your soul needs it to come in for this experience. Your soul doesn't need it to survive. It needs it for this experience. And it's another thing too, is so many people are turned off of life. Oh, life sucks. I don't ever want to live. Oh, fuck life. It sucks. Because, it's been so full of lessons and it's been so hard. So a lot of people are like, giving it a bad rap. But life is beautiful. When you start realizing, that life is happening for you, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. So it's so you can learn about you. You can go out and create what you want your life to be. It's just so many people are so caught up in thinking they're not worthy. They can't have the life they want. And, there's so many people, like I was talking to them, they're wanting to make big changes, big career moves. And so many people are in that, they had jobs that they hated and then they ended, or they were forced to do certain things or whatever. Everybody had to reprioritize their life. Is this what I want? And I went through it when I lost my license as a nurse, and got a brain injury. I've talked about it. It was like being kicked out of the rat race. It was very devastating. It was hard. You have to, it's a hard thing to go through, to reprioritize and question, what's important to you. But when I was talking to him, I kept saying, you got to focus on what it is you want. What is the desired thing? You want to have a job where you're helping people with great hours, with great benefits, and, focus on the things that you desire from the job, and then know that you can have whatever you want, because you're worth whatever you think. But most people then I'll never get the job I want. I can't have what I want. I never get what I want. So then they don't, because they're putting that out there. But life is all about the journey to realize that you can have whatever you want. It's all about loving yourself. But you have to get to that point to know what you can have, because otherwise you're just learning about yourself. So, it's all in there. It's all part of the development of consciousness. So it is, nobody's in the wrong place. Everybody's right where they're supposed to be at their stage of development in their consciousness. This is just a time where you get to level up, where you get to learn something really significant about yourself. I was also telling them, that this is going to be like a huge mirror in front of people. People are going to see all sides of themselves through this process of awakening. And some people won't like what they see. They're not going to like it at all, because they don't want to face themselves. and I've talked about this so many times, you know, it is all about accepting yourself and learning to love yourself, because that's how you can accept others and love others. If you have got hard feelings towards yourself, your parents, your siblings, and all that, you know, you're going out into the world as a wounded person. So you got to go in and look at, like, what is it that triggers me? Why does it trigger me? And, you know, like I've said before, you can go into other past life experiences with these people that you have no memory of whatsoever. And that's why these different hypnotic, what are those people called? Practitioners, that they help you so much processing and understanding things for yourself, because it's all about the healing right now. It's all about you healing and becoming your best self. And like I keep saying, the people who are really attached, you know, holding on like to being criminals and doing bad things because they think they can get away with it. It is this tearing apart of these two realities. And as that age is ending, see, that you can't take that energy into the new age, that toxic criminal kind of thing that will hold you back. You can't go forward and bring it and then like, oh, I'll deal with it later. No, you won't get there. It's like you'll run out of gas. Your energy just will not be able to go to that level. You have to work on yourself. You have to heal your wounds. And everything in life is it's all for your soul. You know, people get so caught up in the life experience, and they think that it's all about, you know, success and what does success mean, and, you know, who's more successful. But that has been because it's part of our paradigm that we were experiencing to learn from. But it's all ending and we're going into the new one. So you can't take, it's like you got to have you got to have brand new luggage to get into the age of Aquarius. Like I said, you got to have the past. The past is being healed, because you can't enter it, because it's your own state of mind. There's no cheating. There's no getting around it. There's no like, well, I'm just going to listen to high vibration music and that'll be okay. No, that's not going to work. You have to do your healing. You have to actually raise your vibration. It's your soul. Your soul is longing. It's yearning to heal. And, you know, it's yearning for connection. That's why I said it's like, you know, hi, soul, meet body. You know, it's when you start realizing that you are two separate things, and you start giving respect to your body and appreciating it and loving it, and quit just tearing it down. Oh God, I've got the ugliest hair. Oh my God, my face. Oh, my nose. You know, and that's what people do. They just sit and tear themselves down. Like, it's been part of our society, accepted. You know, the more that you can tear yourself down, you know, I guess, the more humble you become. I don't know. But really, it is very defeating. It's like tearing people down. It's tearing them apart. And one thing I noticed, too, with the language that I thought was kind of funny, not funny, but obvious, is, you know, I had noticed so much in movies, more recent movies or shows or something, so much that where they started using this little catchphrase, oh yeah, take a beat. Why don't you go take a beat? I'm gonna go take a beat. And then I was like, well, my daughter was here. She went in and she told her dog to take a beat. And I was like, oh my God. It's a direction in like in a script or something. It would be like, take a beat. That would be like, have a pause. You know, don't just go right into the next line, you know, take a beat. And so for them to all of a sudden put that in movies and stuff as like a catchphrase, I was like, they're trying to direct us. Just like they do in the movies. They're trying to direct us. They come up with their phrases, like I've said before. It's all of their things are like, you know, Wrigley's 2 is better than 1 or whatever. They're all little catchphrases, and everything is, what is that word? I have way too many words coming in my head. But everything is all about this marketing, you know? And so they develop like these new little catchphrases, but the catchphrase has a lot more significant than what people think, because they use their words as spells to control us. And so, you know, a little thing like that, you know, I'll take a beat. Yeah, it sounds all cute and nice until they develop, what it becomes, like there's something more associated with it, when there's something more. There always is. And the take a beat thing is I think it's really obvious. I think it's weird how it's like in directions, and now all of a sudden people are using it to talk like to each other or something. And then it just seems like at some point, then it takes on a life of its own, but it's the whole thing about directing us. Like, we're cattle to them, and they're giving us directions like, oh, take a beat. Like, I don't need you to tell me when I need to take a beat. Like, if they need to say it in a script, that's one thing, but you don't need to tell me like when to take a beat. So if you get what I'm saying, there's always something weird with the way that they bring in these little catchphrases and stuff. And it's all what they're marketing with the sickness. And that's what they were a lot more receptive when I was saying, hey, I'm not saying, don't worry. I'm saying, I know they don't work. And it's a false thing. Don't put that on and think like, oh, I can go be around a sick person now. That's false. That will not keep you, that will do nothing. And so they were getting a lot more like, oh, that's why you were saying it? Instead of like, you're just trying to go against, the fraud. And I was like, no, I just know he's a lying motherfucker. That's why I'm going against him. He's a fucking liar. But anyways, so things like that. And, me saying, well, it's not just the flu. They're using that as like, oh, there's this going on and everybody's dying from that. But really we're, back here poisoning everybody. We're just giving them something else to think it is. That's what's going on. And they were a lot more like, oh, okay. But, one of them was very much more like, oh, starting to look stuff up. And the other one was like, oh, okay, that's just too crazy. And what she's like saying something about conspiracy theory, and was like, do you realize there was a CIA who developed that conspiracy theorist, label, so that they could throw people off. I think it was over JFK Jr. JFK. Over that assassination, I'm pretty sure, is when they developed that, like, well, if you're looking into that, you're just looking into conspiracy theories. And so that, every single thing they didn't want people to look into, well, that's a conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory. So when she said that, I said, you start looking into stuff, you find out there is no conspiracy theories. There's just a bunch of truth. And then when you find out who was the one who came up with the little term to throw you off, and you got to see. You got to start seeing through the bullshit. It's all just a bunch of fucking bullshit. Oh, yeah, we watched the Truman Show last night, which, I don't care how old you are, you're sexy. But my daughter was so, she, at first she was just on her phone. I was like, come on, you got to see, this is real. This is what's really happening in the world. This is a controlled existence. And finally she put her phone down. Then she was like really into it. But then she damn fell asleep before she saw the end. So, but my son-in-law, he stayed up and watched it. So I stayed up and watched it with him. And I was just shocked that never had either of them seen the Truman Show. I was like, what? Gosh, more people gotta see that. But I still don't know that they really got the whole thing of like, how controlled this is. I kept saying stuff about the sun, and I pointed it out so many times. Then I know my son-in-law was starting to notice, like, I think he's going to start noticing more, like, now. Like, is that the sun? Is that a sun color? Is that, like, a big shiny disc? Does it burn my eyeballs off? So, I don't know. We'll see. But I just thought it was so cool that when he was talking to his stepdad, who just recently passed, and he has been talking to him so much, and he's been telling him stuff, all sorts of stuff. And so then I was like, okay, ask him all the stuff that I say. Go in and find out, like, ask him, am I saying crazy stuff or am I telling the truth? And everything he'd asked him that he told me, he said he confirmed all the stuff I was saying. And like, yeah, I'm telling you that this is the truth. And all this stuff is going to be coming out. And they are trying to poison us. And there is going to be a lot of people who are going to die just because, you know, it's what their soul came here to learn. And everybody's experience is so unique. And that's what always is such a put off for us is, you know, they put people's stuff on the news. They put it in movies and stuff. And those souls are coming in to learn those lessons, and they use other people's lessons to traumatize us, which only builds on the whole idea of life is scary, life is dangerous, life is no fair. And another thing too that I really was pushing hard on with her was because she was so busy trying to control this thing. She's looking for another job, you know, and she's like, so, oh my gosh, she's like my doppelganger on the type A, how I used to be. Super driven type A, you know, a workaholic, I'm spendaholic, I go travel, just like how everything was. This is just a certain kind of lifestyle. And so she's very much in that whole kind of thing, you know, very driven and wanting to go do that. So she's very focused on making the perfect resume and the perfect cover letter. Like she just sat there for days working on this. And then finally she was going to send it in, and then she sent it in for a tribal counselor or something. And so she'd filled all this stuff out trying to, and it was good. Like I was like, fuck y'all, if it's meant to be. But somebody will hire you. I mean, just off of the fucking resume. Then when you have to meet you, you can tell you're a professional just by the way she did her resume and the stuff she says. Like it was really good. And so then when she went in to send it, they wouldn't take any of that stuff. You just had to fill out one of those long government applications, and they're long as shit. So long. And so she had to go back and start all that over, that whole thing. And I said, see, you sat there stressing and stressing. Like at one point you're stressing over a dot or a parentheses. I said, you got to quit worrying about little shit. You're putting all this energy into little shit. And I'm telling you, it is fucking fate and destiny. You do not have a choice. What's supposed to happen is going to happen. That's all there is to it. It's written. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You have no control. And the whole thing is when people hate life and all that, they think somehow they can control it. And they feel defeated. They feel angry and upset. The only control you have is knowing your own self-worth and how you direct your life. But other than that, you don't have control like what people think. Like they spend so much time trying to control things. It's like, you don't have control. And so, I mean, like, do you have control over how many cars you're going to be in front of you on the way to a place? Do you have control over how many people are going to cross your path? Who's going to cross? No. It's destiny. You have no control. It is predestined, everything in people's lives. If you are here for an experience, it's because it's written. It's like you're on a script. And so I kept trying to get that through to her. Like, you're wasting so much energy. If people could start pulling in and just go, hey, it's like fighting that wave. If you can just release it and let things happen, and you feel good about yourself, everything will happen that will feel good. If you feel like bad about yourself and you release it and let things happen, it's all going to be to teach you to learn how to love yourself. And I went through years and years of it. I'm telling you, that's what happens. You go through years. If you don't learn your value, the lessons keep on coming, because that's an important lesson, and I'm guaranteeing you on that one. So, you know, you can be your own experiment. And a lot of people can think they love themselves, but, you know, can someone hurt your feelings because they don't like you, they don't appreciate you? Once you can release that and you don't care, you know, you can see like, oh, if you don't like me, I don't care. You have your own thing. Why should it have any effect on me? So it's such a way of just feeling so much better about yourself in life. Isn't hard when you feel good about yourself. Life is a lot easier. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more enjoyable. It's more of a treasure. It's more of a gift. And that's when you start having a recognition of that and gratitude. And that kind of just changes everything about how you feel about your life, And every day you can just get up like, what is today going to bring? Like, what am I going to learn today? This is exciting, instead of like, oh my God, this sucks. Another fucking day, because, that's the kind of day you're going to have, is one to just confirm how you feel. You feel like shit. That's the energy you're going to bring to you. You don't feel good about yourself. You're going to bring people in. They're going to teach you why you need to like yourself. They're going to make it so hard on you where it's like, if you don't like yourself, you will kill yourself. You do have to be strong enough to go like, man, I just want to kill myself around this person. But that is your indicator. Like, I need to go do some healing. Nobody can come in and heal you. Nobody can come in and make you feel better. Nobody can fix your pain. The process of fixing your pain is going in and looking at it, and not just, perpetuating it. Go in and look at it, not just in that way of just replaying it, but look at you. Look at like what in you that you are learning from it. And it usually is all about learning to love yourself, respect yourself. It's always where somebody isn't treating you to your value, and it's all to show you so you learn what your value is. It's like, well, damn, I know I'm worth more than this bullshit. Nobody should be treated like this. Every time that happens, it's like, oh, thank you for that lesson. Let's move on to the next one. And it could be another one that's going to teach you the same thing, where you're just like, oh my God, I know I deserve better than this. That's another one where you're like, oh my God, I am learning my own value. Fucking be grateful. That's the blessing that goes on in life. That is what life is here. It is a gift for you to learn how to love yourself. And you will have people in to show you what you don't want, so that you can learn what you do want. It's weird like that. But anyways, I might be back. I'm like, I haven't talked in a few days. And, I've been talking a lot. Like, that's one thing. They're all like, oh my God, do you ever shut up? I'm like, hey, I don't have anybody to talk to. And then plus Danny being here and, being open to talk about spiritual stuff is like, oh, I'm like so excited. Like, try and shut me up. It's not happening. But anyways, so, it is all about, it's all about this expansion. It's about learning and, remember, as all of this stuff keeps coming to the surface and it gets scarier and scarier for a lot of people, it's so we can release it. Release. And if something feels like you're just holding on, whatever it is, the education system, the politics, the medical, all of these different things that you are somehow intertwined, it's the system intertwined on you. It's like if you had a visual, it is like, your avatar has got, if you've ever seen those scary movies where all of a sudden the vines and stuff start growing out of the ground and going all over them, and sometimes they'll even turn into a tree, it is kind of like that. Like the beast's tentacles have just twisted all inside of everybody's life, and it's hard to recognize. So every time you are seeing things are being triggered, it's all release. Let go of this system. Let go of these paradigms. Let go of judgment. Let go of a hierarchy. Let go of all of this stuff. And we are really in a good place right now with the with the queen and stuff. That is like a great marker, I think, for that is like something we've been waiting for a while. I mean, she died a while back, but we knew they weren't going to announce it until everything's on timing. It's all but you never know. Like, it's white hat, dark hat thing, because there's such a merge right now. But everything will be exposed. Everything will be exposed. We will have justice. All of those things will happen. That will be a part of the process, the grieving process of leaving that age and letting it go, So anyways, I'm a broken record, but it's true. And that's all I can keep trying to get people to understand. And every time I talk to people, and they'll pull back in somehow. But yeah, but it's like, no, pull out. Don't suck in, pull out, pull free, look at it. Like, why would I want to At one point, I even told my daughter, what do you want for the new world then? Because, you know, she's got a lot of the woke words, you know, they give them a certain way, like, oh no, things have to be this way, and this way. When you know what they're doing with the words, you know, like, oh, this is all tricks. You know, they're saying this, but they mean this. And so we know now they're tricks. And, but you can't get somebody to see all that. They have to see that in their own time. But I was trying to be like, what do you want though? Not what are they telling you would make a good society. What do you feel would make a good society? How do you feel communities should be built? How do you feel that society should run? You know, like, what should people do if there's a chimo in the neighborhood? You know, what do you do? I'm sitting there saying, like, I believe communities have to have standards. I believe that we know the rules inside of us. It's the waking up what's inside of you. And the rules are imprinted in you. You know the rules. I don't need somebody to tell me not to kill somebody. I know. I don't need somebody to tell me don't take someone else's stuff. I know. There's just, you have an inner knowing, you know. It is all about your moral compass, you know. And some people are in the process of learning where theirs is. But, you know, and that's a glorious thing, even though it's kind of like hard to watch. But will be a beautiful outcome for every soul. So anyways, I'll just keep going and going. So I will talk to you later. Bye.